Hello, my beautiful friend. I am so excited that you're here because this video is going to help to change your perception about your professional life. So if you're unhappy, confused on the job, at work, maybe you want to change businesses or start your own business, and you're feeling just a lack of joy and you're not sure where to go. You know, it's so important that we get on the inside of creating a professional life that is really fulfilling, because you and I are meant to go out into the world and slay dragons. And it's one of the ways in which we do that is through the work that we do in the world. But if you've read my little description on my homepage, you know that changing your job isn't necessarily, or changing the business, isn't necessarily the thing that's going to bring you the most satisfaction and the most joy. So what I want to share with you in this video is really going to help you to get on the inside of what's going on. And I believe that that insight is going to open up the door for joy right now. Right now, not joy down the road, but joy right now. So I'm super excited. Let me share my screen with you. So what we want to get on the inside of is understanding what's called the hero's journey. The hero's journey comes to us from the work of Joseph Campbell. So Joseph Campbell wrote a book called A Hero with a Thousand Faces. And in his work, his academic work, and in his life, this is really his life's work, was he understood or found that there's this common thread between all stories, mythic and otherwise, cross-culturally throughout the world. And that this story, this hero's journey, is part of the human experience. It's embedded in our, I'm going to say soul psyche, but it's embedded in our psyche. And so every single one of us, you especially, is being called to be the hero in your own life. Let's take a deep breath and sigh it out. So this is really the good news. We are meant to have failure. And every hero has to have an epic failure, an epic personal failure, an epic professional failure. My failure came in a series, like all at the same time. My sweetheart, my partner, calls it the cluster. So I filed for divorce. At the same time, my mother had an accident and died suddenly. So that was within only a few months of each other. And I also was in real financial trouble. I was starting my marketing business, boutique marketing, and was looking for clients, and you're trying to work and keep your family together, and I have the kids. So this was a failure, right? This was a failure. Nobody goes into business to fail. No one gets married with the intention of getting a divorce. And so as you have this failure, it's a wake-up call. It's a wake-up call for you to become more of yourself, to become more of yourself. So this is what the hero's journey looks like. So there is the call, right? So we're being called, you are being called to the greatness of your own being. I know that sounds really hyperbolic, but truly, you are made in the image and likeness of your source. You have so many gifts and talents, and some you have yet to really explore, right? Some talents are latent and they're needing and wanting to come out. And I am knowing that right here and right now, you know that you have been called. You know that there's more to your life. There's more to what you are doing, but you've probably suppressed it. Yeah. So because we live in a culture that says you have to do A, B, and C to be happy, and you did A, B, and C, and you're still not happy. You're still not feeling your joy. And so what most of us do is we take the path that maybe our family and our culture has laid out for us instead of following our true heart's desire. And so most people, I'm not going to say everyone, because Joseph Campbell actually did not resist the call. But everybody has something. I know he has something, right? Everybody has something. But anyway, so some of us, we resist the call, and then we have calamity happen. We're not listening to ourselves, we're not listening to our intuition, and then some kind of calamity happens. Or what about you've worked really hard in your business? You've done everything you can possibly think of. You've poured your heart and soul into it, and it still failed. It still failed. That failure is a descent into the underworld. And as you go into the underworld, as you go into the depths of the despair, this is actually where you're going to begin to gather your resources. This is where you're going to meet guides along the way. So when I was going through my descent, I was actually finishing up courses in neuro-linguistic programming, which was very, very helpful. I was learning more about how to be financially responsible. I'm not embarrassed anymore, but at the time, I let my husband do all the finances. And so when I was on my own, I had to learn things really, really quickly. I have a group of women that I refer to as wisdom women. And these women gave me counsel and guidance and support. And so this is where you find your resources. But I also found internal resources, and so will you. And those internal resources are jewels that you will keep with you for the rest of your life, knowing that you've made it through this descent. When you come out the other side, when you come into the return, you're coming out with these jewels. You're coming out with this insight. You're coming out with this knowledge, with this wisdom, with this feeling of empowerment. And when you come out the other side, you know that there is no thing that can bring you that low again, because you have created so much confidence in yourself. You feel so empowered and so connected. And this is also where we begin to feel a spiritual connection, because I'm all about the spiritual connection. We're not doing this on our own. You've come with the spiritual team. And so not only do you have your physical resources, classes, and maybe people in your life that are helping to guide you, but there are spiritual resources that begin to make themselves known. Isn't that true? That you are stronger and more capable than you ever felt possible. Now, some of us get stuck. Some of us get stuck in the underworld, and sometimes we can be there grieving for long periods of time, yeah? And so we're grieving the loss of the business. We're grieving the loss of who we thought we were in our lives. And that, we can stay stuck in that. Some of us stay stuck in that grief. And so if that resonates with you, this is your message of hope. There is a way out of the grief, of the despair. And it starts simply with the breath, right? Just with the breath. And knowing that this is part of the plan. This is the plan that you put in place before you incarnated here, before you came to this earth plane. This was part of the plan. And you have what it takes to gather up the goods, the jewels, and return into the world renewed. And that is the promise. That's the promise that's written on your heart, my friend. How we do that is rewriting the story of our lives. So the part of the thing that keeps us in the underworld and keeps us in grief is the story. I see that little self-talk here, right? The belief in the story, that self-talk part. The part of us that says, why did this happen to me? It's not fair. The world is against me. I'm stupid. I'm unworthy. I deserve to have this happen. What that self-talk does is it actually infects your behavior in a negative way. And your actions, your behavior and your actions, right? You can't help create in your environment. And as you create in your environment, you reinforce the story. So your self-talk is always reinforcing the story. Is it reinforcing the story of your grief? Or is it reinforcing the story of your return, of your return. All right, my beautiful friend. So it is time for you to know that you are on a hero's journey. It is time for you to begin to rewrite the story of your success. Yeah? Anyway, I am so happy that you're here. Please, if you feel like you would like guidance with this, if you feel like you would like some more support, go to my blog, go to my Work With Me page. Let's connect. I'd love to help you be one of your wisdom women on your journey, on your return. All right, my beautiful friend. I'll see you then. Bye.